So
let's do it.
All right. Hey everybody, I'm Nico.
That makes me Kevo.
And that makes this murdermystery.mcu.html / it's not like anybody ever treated Hope like a real thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyway.
Yeah, this was a very, very interesting and only the third entry of Marvel's What If, withholding the actual question of what if until the very end as sort of a murder mystery. It has been repeatedly compared to an Agatha Christie mystery. I said to you early on, I wondered if they were going to, and they did. And the ultimate question being, what if Hope Van Dyne had been recruited by the Avengers Initiative, died, and it made Hank Pym go crazy? Okay.
I want to love Hank Pym. I love Janet Van Dyne. I enjoy not loving Scott Lang. I like O'Grady. He's a good Ant-Man. He's G.I. Ant-Man, so he's Giant Man.
Nice. I love that.
And he's a soldier, so he's G.I. Ant-Man. It's real cute. Love Nadia as the Wasp, and I just love all of these characters. But there is something inherently, generally always despicable about every iteration of Hank Pym.
And now even this one. I have loved the Michael Douglas one mostly, and they finally found a way to make him more in line with the comics.
Which, okay, that's one of the things I've loved about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's done a really brave job saying, 70, 80 years of continuity gets fucky, so get rid of the fucky stuff. Bucky didn't come back till Ed Brubaker's Captain America in 2005, 2006. Why do I bring that up? Because Bucky as Winter Soldier barely existed before he was in the films, and the films are better for it. All things considered, there's 50 years between the debut of Hawkeyes in the comics, but there's only going to be 10, 12 years between debuts of Hawkeyes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. So I think in a lot of ways, these updates are beautiful, and they do a really good job being attractive translations, and that they saved all of the well-earned Michael Douglas crazy for a what if was kind of cool. I mean, I have to imagine that poor Catherine wakes up to that on a bad day. It's just Michael Douglas comes tearing down the stairs and Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, he's having a Hank Pym moment again. You know what I mean? This was so cute. I think my saddest part was I am passionately in love with Evangeline Lilly's Hope.
Yeah, honestly, as soon as Natasha says it's all about Hope, I got it right away. But I was like, no, Hope is not killing people.
I thought she was going to be like the ghost of this movie. I thought she was going to play Ghost from the second one.
So having her be dead was a lot more satisfying because I never would have wanted them to ruin that character. But at the same time, I'm sad that Hope was dead. She's a great character.
And that moment in, I can't stop talking about it, but that moment in Endgame when she gets to say...
She gets to call him Cap, and she has that moment with Scott. It's really cute. It's really funny. I think it's really interesting that they chose to create an allusion to the possibility that Hope was assassinated by the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
By having them reference Odessa, which is something that Natasha references in the Winter Soldier. That was, there's some of the ties that they put in are really cute and clever, and then some of the stuff they do is saying that Thor's rotting corpse smells like lavender. And that was the stuff that took me out of this episode. There's just a few things like that, but mostly I really enjoyed it.
And I think it's those moments of synergy that are the big things that make this episode work where it works.
Absolutely.
Because Ant-Man's synergy is inherently magical in the first place. I joke a lot about how oftentimes these big crossovers really do come down to somebody wrote a line somewhere that allows them out of the big bad. And I believe that Ant-Man and Wasp was always meant to introduce, like quantum stuff, because the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe now relies on it.
Yeah.
But there is something sort of, you need to fight a god, use the hammer of a god. There is something a little bit, you need to fight a Thanos, use the Quantumos. You know what I mean? And they managed to kind of do that with this episode in particular. By tying it into Fury's big week, we got a connection to Hawkeye. We got a connection to Thor and the weird rotting corpse of it all. So much Coulson, Nick Fury. We got Loki. There's the Cap thing at the end. There's Ant-Man. This was no one's what if. This was everyone's what if.
Well, to draw it back to the seed that started this episode, it really was looking at Fury's big week, which was a concept that the MCU came out with some time ago, stating that, as you saw, Iron Man 2, Thor, and the Incredible Hulk all take place inside of the same week. It's something that a lot of Marvel fans have sort of questioned a lot over the years.
Poked at with love.
Yeah, we've all been a little bit curious about that. It's a lot all at once, but it's something that they have really been adamant about in the background, just that this really is what canon was. And even though a lot of fans aren't aware of it, Marvel Studios was and heavily encouraged the showrunner to go with an idea using this week as a focus point. And then they sort of work backwards from there to think about who would exist to have wanted to and ultimately have taken out the Avengers in this 1 week.
And you know, it wasn't all just about fridging my precious hope or
Nat.
Or, you know, Hank Pimming Hank Pym. But it was also a little bit about giving me one of the least well-liked anti-heroes of the Marvel Universe. There is a crazy, super powerful being known as the Red Harpy. But before she was the Red Harpy, she would have better known as the Rulky. Or as she is here, Betty Ross.
Yeah, we saw something from the Incredible Hulk, a branch of the MCU that we tend to stay away from.
We tend to get sleepy over. Yeah, real sleepy.
Yeah, the showrunner actually joked if Mark Ruffalo hadn't been available that they should think about getting Ed Norton to reprise the role. It was very strange seeing Mark Ruffalo in Incredible Hulk scenes.
Yeah, I've thought a lot of this very A Scanner Darkly animation has been really dead on.
Yeah.
That was the first one where I was kind of like, but who? Eric Bana?
For me, it was more the voice actor playing Betty. I think she was a little too Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender. Lake Bell did a great job as Natasha.
What a great job. Like, truly, truly. Ring that bell.
Jeremy Renner did a terrible Jeremy Renner impression.
It
was him, apparently.
Okay.
He's credited. But I did you have a cold or something? I'm sorry. He sounds bizarre.
But, like, not even in an aggressive way, because we're not coming at Jeremy Renner over sounding weird, but it is one of those things that when the show is meant to have those touchstones that are meant to tie us back into the show, it might have been worth a second take somehow, because it just didn't click for me the way I perhaps would have wanted it to.
And if it's not Jeremy Renner at the end of the day, like, I'm not bothered by that. I'm not even too upset by him not sounding like himself. It was just very jarring to be watching the episode and be like, oh, that's a voice actor. And then you see the credits and nope.
But you know who did sound like themselves? Loki. I thought Tom Hiddleston did a really great Loki. You know, everybody seems to go back to their general character, but it's their character moving forward. Tom Hiddleston seems to be the only actor who is constantly forced to go back to a specific moment in time Loki, and he does it really well here.
Yeah.
And, okay, so I understand that not everybody uses my level of comic logic for this finale sequence, where people are like, because you're not the only one, I saw it on Twitter, everybody's like, what the fuck? How is Loki as Fury so capable of interacting with Hank Pym? And I'm like, he's a god who, you know, he was taught by a master sorceress. He probably has some level of telepathy he can use. Some level of, Mr. Fury, tell me what I should say.
I know. For me...
Get out of my damn head!
For me, it's more the extreme level of theatrics that this little sting scene requires. This god who appeared radiating fury and vengeance for his brother with that giant frost casket thing from the first Thor movie. Like,
the casket of Eternal Winters.
Okay, no, thank you. I knew it was a casket. I couldn't remember, but like, yeah, the ice casket, the ice bucket challenge. He shows up and he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone before sunup tomorrow. And instead he's like, yeah, we'll play out this little scene. I get that Loki is a trickster, so he might find the game of it appealing.
Oh, do tell.
But it's just a little bit too extra.
It's a little ode to do tell.
And on rewatch, at the beginning of the scene, Fury does seem in character to a level where either Loki's super committed or they just weren't really thinking about how they had to make sure that it still reads as Loki at the beginning of the scene. And, you know, we all do things.
You know, but for all of the things that got a lot of attention in this episode, something that I thought maybe flew under the radar just didn't beep as much as I thought it would.
I have no idea where this is going.
It just didn't Captain fucking Marvel all over your face as much as I kind of thought stuff. People would. Like, I maybe thought that the tie back to Captain Marvel, that he kept being like, there's still one more Avenger. That really, you know, I was like, okay. And then, you know, he gets Cap out of the ice and it's sort of like, now I need him to be Captain Fury. I need it just to be like the Captain's Avengers. That's cool. That's kind of what I wanted from this, I guess.
I would love Fury and like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Armor. There's no Iron Man in this.
Iron Patriot,
now.
You know? Iron Shield Mater. Because maiden is a lady. So what would be a maid man? A man-made? Made man. That's Nick Fury's Iron Man suit. Good for me. So I lost the plot on that one. And I think the thing about the end of this is that it does tie into this very open world thing. We've had this theory that based on images we've seen and the ending of some of these being very open-ended, that it's very likely that there's going to be some sort of crisis on infinite what ifs at the end of this. I would not be surprised if the Nick Fury character is the one who carries over from this, you know, especially if we do see a future for him within Avengers.
And I do imagine they would want to do something like that, tying it into what is the main through line of the Avengers, being Fury, having started it with the Avengers Initiative. Yeah. I also imagine that we will have some involvement from what I believe our next episode is, which is seeing Doctor Strange go full Sorcerer Supreme. So, I don't know, with everything that we've seen from the No Way Home trailer, with everything we know about Multiverse of Madness, and the fact that that is the next episode we're getting of What If, I wonder how many different universes that Sorcerer Supreme might tie in between. And I really am still very curious how much this cartoon might tie into the films. Even if we just see brief glimpses of some of the stuff we've seen in these cartoons, that's still really cool. And it really shows how Marvel Studios and the MCU are trying to continually push the boundaries of filmmaking and storytelling.
You know, sometimes there can be 16 million universes in a room, and it just takes that one universe.
And it's Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. We need Lady Gaga in the MCU now.
I can't even fucking talk about it, but like, everyone, anyone.
Dazzler,
Magneto.
Obviously. Magneto. I don't hate
Lady Gaga as Magneto.
Do I hate that, actually?
No, you shouldn't. You should love it. Wanda's dad is Lady Gaga, and that's...
What a nexus of pop culture.
What if?
What if?
Hey guys, if you like that cut, you'll be sure to like some of our other materials. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out these other amazing videos here at X is for Podcast.